Good evening and welcome to Sunday Night Live here on the Weather Fans page here on Facebook and YouTube.
Good evening, good evening, good evening. Hope everyone's all right this evening, and whoever's watching in the future on that there YouTube, hope you're well too. It's been a grim day up north, shall we say.
It was a bit so this morning, but brightened up a bit this afternoon here in the heart of the Midlands.
No, not whatsoever up here, I'm afraid. Still foggy now, actually, but it's clearing up to the higher ground finally. But we did say it'd be foggy. We did say that on Thursday, so can't complain.
Yeah.
Can't complain with my own forecast.
Just changed something. Just bear with me.
Yeah. Oh, red.
Yeah, I just thought as it's been remembering day to day.
Yeah. It's a bit more subtle.
There we go. That'll look a bit better.
Indeed.
So I would have gone a bit live a bit earlier, but for like the last 20 minutes or so, I've been trying to sort something out to how to put an image on the screen. Then it just clicked to me as I've sat down before going live.
Yeah, put it in a tab.
Sorry?
You put it in a tab. Open it in a tab.
I was trying to do it through like one of the things before where we can do the screen share.
Oh,
Then it clicked to me. I thought, well, put use it as a background instead, like what we've got with the Weather Fans banner.
Why not? Why not? I would imagine that is what you showed me earlier.
It is, yes.
Yeah, I'll let you go straight in. Go back on.
So, I've come across this in the last hour or so that Europe had its longest track tornado in history a few weeks ago, which appeared in France. So let's see if that will. Let's see, put that on full screen.
Yep.
Yeah, well, let's see if I can take us off the screen.
Mm-hmm.
Haha.
Hey, what that is.
I thought I could do it this way, but it's not letting me do it.
Hang on, Michael. I'll try and do it from my side, mate, because you sent it to me.
Yeah. I think the only way around it actually is if I stop our cams.
No, don't worry.
Oh god, you want to see that full face.
Open image in new tab. There we go. Right. I'm ready. I've done it. If you go back onto Messenger to our conversation. You there?
Yeah.
Yeah, basically right click it and open it in new tab.
Okay.
There we go. Apologies for the live technical difficulties. Should have a test card we can put up. So that should do it, and then you should be able to screen share it. Excuse me.
Just bear with me, guys. I thought I found a way around it a minute ago, but obviously it hasn't worked.
You know, like I said, let's go into our conversation, click on the picture, right click, open a new tab, and it should come up on the browser.
Open image in new tab. Oh, blimey, let me just try and make that bigger. Settings, just bear with me before I take it onto there.
Yep.
Otherwise, it's going to be too small. Let's present that share screen.
I'll look through the pictures on the page. Not really so much has put up.
Right, let me I've got. Just bear me a second. If you want to go through the pictures, I'll try and get it sorted out.
Yeah, of course, of course. So we'll go to Weather Fans Facebook page. Yay!
And full screen.
Excellente.
I'll just be in the background trying to sort this out.
Yeah, I'll pad it for as best I can, mate.
Yes.
So we will go back to my pictures. Who's this? This is from Geraldine on. This would have been yesterday, I believe. A lovely morning here on the Lancashire-Yorkshire border. That was me, obviously. As you can see at the bottom, up at Bingley on Thursday. Bit of a cloudy afternoon, but the sun did shine through and it was rather warm as well, to be honest with you. Really felt unusually warm for the time of year once that sun come out. As you can see there's the Five Rise Locks at Bingley. Well renowned in this country and throughout the world as well. There's Salts Mill in the background there. You just enter full screen mode. So yeah, there's Salts Mill in the background, and Bingley Town Centre is just down here. One of my favourite pictures. I did have another one where the sun was shining through. I think I put it on the one on Friday, Friday. So there were the locks, and that's how far it was to Leeds. Not a chance I was walking that. There we go, there's another view down into Bingley. It wasn't Salts Mill, actually. That's further down the valley. Definitely not walking 111 miles. I'd walk 500, but I wouldn't walk no further. As the communards, I can't remember anyway. So they're from Chaz, these are, I think, from today. Back here. No, actually from yesterday. From Stanley Park in Blackpool. Lovely pictures. Absolutely lovely. Oh, nice streaks there as well. Yeah. That's a nice one. Yeah, how are you working? How are you getting there, Michael?
I think I might be able to find another way around it.
Alrighty then. So yeah, these are the pictures from Chaz on, like I say, from yesterday. I believe he posted some today. Ooh, looks like a Venus flytrap, possibly. No, it isn't actually. It is. Is it? I don't know. Perhaps Chaz could tell us if I'm right or wrong. I don't think they are. I do like them though. Do like the flowers and the foliage. Bit prickly customer there. And these are from Joanne from yesterday as well, Joanne Sutton. And we'll just skip past me. That was up at the Radio Club earlier, as you can see. It was great at the HQ this morning, and it was great up at the Shack as well. You can see there, it pretty much sums up West Yorkshire today, 10 degrees and misty. Been nice to have something more autumnal. And James replied, we've got friends in Nottingham, and apparently it's grey and murky there as well. Still a beautiful afternoon here in Stockport. T-shirt weather here, 17.4. Yeah. You know what? I actually enjoyed having mist today, as weird as it sounds. It was actually nice to have something different than sunshine or rain. Yeah. There's actually another weather type, it's called fog. I forgot about it. So, yeah, they're all pictures that were sent in from the weekend. I'm just going to...
Anything during last week? During this past week? Because we've not looked at them for about 2 weeks, I think.
We haven't actually. I thought we'd shared them on thing, but we never did we?
No, I think we was rushing through it, to be honest.
Yeah, we were on Thursday because of...
the Sunday before, I had a bit of a migraine.
So we got some here. So they're the thunderstorms from the other day. I think Gordon put this one up. Yep. Picture from the governor there from Blackpool. Yeah. Had some torrential downpours with hail and captured rotation going over about 35 minutes ago. That's in Blackpool. Let's have a look at that, shall we? Oh, it's a time lapse. Yeah. Go back. Yeah, there's the time lapse. That's the time lapse from Chaz. From James. Bit of the old wet stuff there a few days back. Forgot to put the power on the laptop. So, look, it's the sun. The sun is shining where James was. Was that the moon? That must be the moon. I do apologise, moon. Sorry. Yeah, it's the moon. The new one. More from James here. I don't know where these were taken, but very lovely. Somewhere in Derbyshire, maybe. Somewhere up north. And there's one from Big Mike. Good morning from Tamworth.
That was Thursday morning from the weather window.
It was from the weather window. A very lovely view from the weather window as well, to be honest.
This time of year, I'll get beautiful sunrises.
Yeah, with me, it's I'm right in the middle. So like the sun rises in the east, obviously, but it goes round the back and then sets out the back as well. So I miss it all. I'm gutted. Whereas previously, I could see the sunrise from my bedroom and watch it sunset in the living room. I'll move to where I am now. These are from Ray. I've even seen them from Thursday as well. Lovely rainbow there. Yeah. Ooh, there's burger, is it, or something like that? With the sunbow. I believe they're called Virga clouds. I think that's a Virga cloud.
It's just got the name of it. It's just got my bleeding head.
I'm sure it's Virga.
Virga is when you see precipitation evaporates before it gets to the ground.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, right there. It might be the 22-degree arc or something like that. I'm just thinking things off the top of my head. But it's something like that. We'll try and bring you that.
So my brain's just gone completely blank. That's
I know, so is mine. Lovely rainbow there from Sarah. I don't know where that was taken, but
3 days ago from
I'm just trying to see where it was taken. If there's any things, there's more. Not a bad picture. Not a bad picture of the moon. A close up. There's another one. The rainbow and rain. Oh dear. Looks a bit wet there.
There we go. Thanks, Sandy Stones. I knew it began with C. I just couldn't think of the name.
What was it? What was it again? Sorry.
Can you see the screen?
Oh, is you on about the hailstones?
No. If you look on our mains, if you come onto our main screen, Andy's written the thing, the comment.
Oh yeah. Let me have a look. Oh yeah. Circumzenfial arc chat.
Yeah. I had the word ARC in my head. I just couldn't think more to it than that.
Yeah. Thanks, Andy.
Cheers, Andy.
Yeah. Would you tell us what one of these is called as well? I'm being sarcastic.
It's called Colours in the Sky.
Colours. I could paint them with a rainbow. Just Zippy, Bungle, and George at the other end.
Or recipe.
Zippy is here. Anyway, Zippy and George we'll put them to bed for now. Oh, beautiful sunset, Sarah. Beautiful sunset. Oh, lovely. First person.
Oh my wow.
Tomorrow. Fern Day on Tuesday from Jamie Lally.
Beautiful.
I've seen a lot about this night rainbow. This moonbow or whatever it was called. It's 10% less likely than a normal rainbow. So it is, you know, what they call it. Well, now my brain's gone to dust. You know, it's more.
We do this middle of the day, it wouldn't be too bad, but for some reason our brain shuts down after about 7 o'clock.
After like 8 o'clock, our brains just shut down and we just waffle. Yeah, so you're 10% less likely, more or less. You're 10% less likely to see a moonbow than you are a rainbow. It's more common. That's the word. Oh, I don't know. What you like, Paul? That was my favourite picture of when I was up at Five Rise. These are the free rise locks.
Oh, yes.
Over at Bingley. So over here is, I'm trying to think of the name of the village over towards here. Cullingworth, Cottonwood, somewhere like that. Bingley's just down here in the village. The River Aire is just on the other side of that valley there. So it's literally, you've got these, then you've got the main trunk road, the railway, and then the River Aire, if I believe right. Might even have a picture of the train going past it. So yeah, I was looking down the valley towards the village over on the other side. I'll skip through them. I don't know if I put the money shot on weather fans on railway community. Yeah, so back there to Geraldine's. So I'm going to pass it back to Mike if he's ready.
Yeah, I'm ready here.
Right, there we go. Back to you, mate.
Right, next thing I would like to share with you is what I've been trying to put on the screen is the record-breaking tornado. Hopefully
Yes,
that should come on full screen right now. Is that on the screen? Yes, it has. There's no way around it. Oh, I was. I've actually.
What have you done?
I'll tell you what I've done. I've actually lost it on my screen here.
I can see it.
Okay, I can see it now.
Yeah, good.
So yeah, the French. We've had a record-breaking tornado which affected northern France on October the 23rd this year. It actually travelled about 128 miles across northern France with width of around about 400 meters. It was an EF3 tornado, which more or less went up to the Belgian border. No one was killed, but there was just one injury from this tornado, which is quite incredible, really.
It is, to be honest.
So as we can see, we got some of the damage seen.
Yeah, I think we had some pictures put up on the group as well from Chaz and I think Gerard as well. I think Gerard put some up as well.
Well, it was quite a long-lasting track as well. It took about 2.5 hours.
It was, yeah. It kept going on and off, if I remember.
Yeah. At one point, it went up to an EF3, but it was more or less an EF102. About 128 miles. That is a new European record. To think how close it is to the UK as well, we get to see the English Channel to the northwest of the picture there.
It is. Yeah, you got Kent just there. Margate, Dover.
It's October the 23rd. That's where I think was it maybe the schools that were coming through?
No, I can't remember. It probably was because we've had a lot of southerly winds recently, haven't we? And
yeah,
there was that low that had the dip in it. that went through, and I think that might have been to do with that. I'd like a, on the southern edge, it was very tight gradient.
I'm thinking, could it be when we had those thunderstorms moving up from France, keep clipping the southeast?
Mm, could have
Might be
been.
around about that time, actually.
Yeah.
So yeah, thankfully no one was killed. Just what the one injury from that.
Mhm.
128 miles it travelled that tornado, which is incredible. That's equivalent from more or less from London to Birmingham. So
Mhm.
that long trek, really. I think it's
Yeah.
about 100 miles, I think, between Birmingham and London. So it gives you,
Yeah. It'd be, I'd say between London and possibly Nottingham.
yeah,
I know it's 100 miles to Leicester from London, so
yes,
be
yeah,
about to Nottingham.
probably around about that
Outskirts of
distance.
Nottingham. So yeah. I'll have a look at that later and try and find like the equivalent of it being in the UK on Google Maps. 'Cause I've got Google Maps on the phone, so
Yeah,
sorry, Google Earth. So,
yeah.
um, shall we? I was going to say, going to. Did you read the net weather preliminary forecast?
I've not had a chance. I was trying to spend a lot of time looking up, trying to
Yeah,
get that image up.
yeah.
Yeah,
I don't know if anyone else is. I can just like show the first few um, what they call it. I know the Met Office have done one as well, but I can't actually. I may have Met Office as well for the week. But we'll obviously be doing that, so I don't want to give people, I don't want to tread on people's toes, so to speak. If I just come back to you, Michael.
yeah. What we'll do while you're doing what you need to do, I'll just put the latest snow and ice forecast charts up.
Yep, I'm ready. I'm ready to go actually, and then I'm going to that, and then we'll go into forecast before we've got about 20 minutes.
Yeah, I'll quickly do the snow and ice, then we'll come to you, then we'll
Yeah,
have a
yeah,
look at the forecast for the week ahead.
yeah. That's fine.
Okay, let's go into the snow and ice. Let's get that on the screen right now. Let's double check what that is on the screen. It is indeed. So let's go down to Europe. Let's do this. Let's do the 30-day one because I obviously didn't do it last week. So where are we now? Is that better? Is that a lot bigger?
Well, yeah,
So obviously this is running through to the end of October into November. So let's have a look. Can I stop that? Can I stop that actually? Oh, no, 'cause it's running on an animation.
yeah. I'll just keep
So
going
let's see
through.
what changes. So we definitely see that snow spreading more towards western Russia. Definitely more over Scandi in the last 30 days.
Mm-hmm.
The sea ice it seems to be definitely increasing as well,
Yep,
especially around Serbia and even towards Canada actually.
yep. Yes,
And the latest, we've still got a little bit of snow over the Alps, but obviously there's a lot of high pressure over Europe at the moment.
yeah,
We should start seeing more snow affecting Scandi probably the next week, to be honest, with these weather fronts coming in from the Atlantic.
yeah.
So let's close that a
Oh,
second.
sorry, radio
Uh,
going off in the background.
this last 7 days, so we'll be able to see that a lot better.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Yeah,
been a
so
little bit of it.
not too much change actually in the last 7 days,
No,
but we should start seeing that still spread more. But considering what it was like, 60 days ago?
yeah,
Go back 60 days, we can definitely
mm-hmm.
see how much it's increased through September and October. So we see over Siberia how it's gone more widespread, definitely widespread in the last 2 to 3 weeks, really.
Mm-hmm.
So we're going through September
into,
into October.
into Kyrgyzstan as well, and around the
So
Himalayas as well.
around about the 23rd of October, it's really increased across Russia.
Yeah, a little bit there in the Himalayas as well. Mm,
Yeah, it's definitely from
yeah.
about the 25th, 26th, we'll see that increasing.
Mhm.
So that's the latest snow and ice forecast.
It is.
Let's get back to you and me on the screen.
We go to the preliminary thoughts for winter. These are Net Weather's thoughts on winter um, from Nick Finnis.
You're on the screen.
Brilliant stuff. Thank you very much, sir. So Nick says, Net Weather forecast is issued towards the end of next week or next weekend, a little bit earlier than last year. Winter forecasts are increased and pushed out earlier and earlier, even though longer lead times typically reduce accuracy. With the cost of living crisis this winter, with businesses and households alike perhaps more interested than ever before to know if we could be in for a cold or mild winter, is it perhaps best to get the word out sooner rather than later? So it continues saying, however, before it is issued, before I do a preview looking at the main parts of the jigsaw coming together to make forecasts such as climatic drivers and teleconnections, but also perhaps some hint on what we could expect, but not to draw any conclusions yet. So this is just an outline that they're giving in this one anyway, and obviously in the other one when that comes out in the next week or so. I will drop hints on the likelihood of an average cold or mild winter. So he's dropping hints. The winter forecast will discuss blah 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 blah. Although, but we also hang on. But we also touch on two wild cards such as the Hunga Tonga volcano eruption, which was the one that happened over in Tonga that caused the blast wave to go over the Earth twice. That threw up a lot of water into the atmosphere and it actually caused, further down it'll say it caused cooling in that area because obviously the UV rays get thrown back out into the ether. Potential for SSW and climate change that already an already difficult forecast to make given all the different drivers even more challenging. Also, I take into account what numerical weather prediction models are shown for the 3 winter months. Christ, why can't I do this? There we go. Yeah, so 3 winter months. Also, the seasonal outputs, a few or more months prior to the winter season can develop trends, which is a lot what we talk about on here, and a few have been occasionally successful in predicting and verifying weather patterns. So what he's basically saying there is they're going to look at numerical patterns, also La Nina as well, the volcano eruption. There's all these different variables in bringing this forecast. So they've got the ENSO. There you go. There's La Nina, sea surface temperature anomalies. So as you can see there, La Nina is more in ENSO region 3 and 4 and 1 and 2. So it's more towards the eastern and middle of the Pacific. It says coldest anomalies are biased towards the east. Nino region 1 and 2 over the last 4 weeks was minus 1.8, Nino 3 and 3.4, which is this area here, were minus 1.1. As discussed, a more east-based La Nina more likely to favour blocking, especially early in winter, based on analogues of previous east-based La Nina winters. So what I'm saying there is we could be in for some blocking soon. Obviously, timing's timing, isn't it? So obviously it shows there that La Nina becomes more neutral and into positive, so it could go back into La Nina El Nino rather than La Nina, because I think it's got to go above zero point 0.5 for it to be classed as La Nina, or -5, and then it goes into neutral. Anyways, further down, the Hunga Tonga volcano eruption. This is the one that happened in January, so right at the beginning of the year, which injected approximately 45 million metric tons of water vapor into the atmosphere, an increase of 10%, and subsequently cooled the southern hemisphere stratosphere by reflecting incoming solar radiation. Increasing more vapor has also reached the northern stratosphere too, hemisphere stratosphere. Um, Evidence as cooling between 0 and 10 degrees north of the equator. However, nature tries to balance out an imbalance, obviously, yin and yang and all that business. Um, where were we? So, try to balance out in the atmosphere. So, where there is an increasing cooling in the southern hemisphere and low latitudes of the northern hemisphere, there is likely to be cooling. This is likely to offset this with a warming of the stratosphere towards the northern latitudes of the northern hemisphere to try and rebalance the atmosphere. Now, that could have been obviously with it cooling in that region. Could that be a driver why we got the hotter weather? Who knows?
Possibly.
That's what I'm thinking. I was thinking that when I was reading it the other day. I was because he's saying there. I'm not saying he's climate change or all like that. I'm not denying that. I'm just saying based on what he's saying here. This is obviously written down, so it's fact. Um, the low latitudes of the northern hemisphere stratosphere. So that would be around Spain, northern Africa, and across that way towards India and stuff like that. They cooled in the first half of the year. So like I say, could that, like I said, nature always wants to balance itself out. So could that be the reason why we got the hotter weather more further north? Who knows? He'll say there, along to that year, featured a colder than normal stratosphere in the southern hemisphere winter, our summer, indicate prominence for blocking in December, January, but this blocking waning through February. So, as he says there, the colder than normal stratospheres in the southern hemisphere usually indicate blocking in the early part of the winter in the northern hemisphere. Here we go. One for you, Michael. The strat. Current model output in the medium to longer range is signalling the persistence of ridging or blocking over Scandinavia and also over the Alaska Aleutians area. Sorry if I got that wrong. This poleward ridging and associated wave breaking, if it persists, could over time weaken the PV, which is currently strengthening towards the seasonal norm as the polar stratosphere begins to cool, the polar nights become longer. Models have occasionally hinted at a stretched stratospheric PV at range, and we will be keeping an eye at stratospheric forecasts. But a sudden stratospheric warming tends to occur on average in January or February rather than December, and cannot be predicted more than a few weeks ahead. So, I don't know what you make of that, Michael.
I don't actually.
He's saying that obviously there's models have hinted at a stretched stratospheric polar vortex at range.
Well, we might take a look at that on Thursday night, actually, the
Yeah.
PV.
Yeah, we can do that. So, solar cycle, obviously, we're coming into a solar cycle 25, I think it is. Yeah, solar cycle 25, and it's above average, apparently. So, this is one of the factors as well. However, the latitude blocking was absent most of last winter. only briefly appearing in December over Greenland, but its influence on the UK weather was negligible. So, some of them have weaker polar vortex, more prone to blocking. So he's saying basically, because we're having we're having more solar things, we could get more blocking as well. The indicators are there for the blocking in early December, into December and January. Just come back through Met Office. So the UK Met, I'll say for December, January, and February, they are going for more average, what they call it, around 500. So that would indicate more, would a bit of everything it says here. October, November not available yet, suggests more average heights over northwestern Europe for December, January, and February. That's DJF. With blocking over.
January, February.
Yeah, sorry, December, January, February. My bad. With blocking over northwestern Russia, northwestern Atlantic and Russia. This would indicate a bit of everything. So the Met Office are going for a bit of everything. Obviously, you can see blocking there over Scandian, Western Russia, and out in the Atlantic as well. And over there, really strong blocking across the Northern Pacific. And yeah, that's Northern Pacific, yeah. Let's see what NSIP's got to say. They are going for lower than average for us. Here we go.
So that'll still bring southwesterly winds in for that.
Yeah, it says there, look, goes for higher heights for December, January, February. This indicates mild and mobile westerlies.
Yeah, I didn't even see it actually.
You just knew. This is glow sea. Indicates a blocked and dry over much of Europe, like the ECM, could mean a mix of mild and colder prospects, depending on where the blocking locates. So with that one, it would maybe bring in some modified southerlies, southeasterlies. Just based off that one, I'm going with. Obviously, the air goes clockwise around the high pressure. So it would be, southerlies. So we would be based, southerlies. Yeah, I'm not going to say no more. Meteor France are going for blocking, proper northern blocking, as you can see there, Mike.
Yeah.
So they're throwing out all different.
So that one there would actually bring risk of easterly winds, maybe dragging some cold air into Eastern Europe, maybe heading towards that one.
On the back end. So we'd get some from Scandi, possibly Europe as well, depending on how far that cold weather makes it and floods out of the Arctic. It will go probably into Ukraine, Belarus, into the Baltic Sea states, possibly down into like Croatia, Bosnia, them areas, Macedonia. They could all get cold weather, which they tend to do at this time of the year. Turkey has snow sometimes, so does northern Africa as well at times. So it just depends how far this cold air gets and where that blocking heads. So that blocking was a little bit more to the west. We would probably get a straight blast of northerlies. So preliminary thoughts before we get into the forecast. Moderate base. So most outlooks going from seasonals going for a great chance of higher than normal heights over northern Europe. And I'm going to just highlight this. Actually, no, let me go from the wild card. So we'll go from the wild card, from the eruption. So the wild card increased potential high latitude blocking in northern hemisphere this winter as a balancing response. to the colder than normal southern hemisphere stratosphere triggered by the eruption. Most outlooks from seasonals are going for greater chance than normal heights over Northern Europe and the UK over winter. GFS and UK Met suggest more normal heights range. GFS mildest to more mobile looking. So would heavily weigh in to the forecast the possibility of prolonged periods of blocking, but location is very uncertain. So hopefully by the end of this week, Net Weather will have brought out their forecast, and we should know a little bit more better where where and what's going to happen this winter. Obviously, Mother Nature makes her own mind up, so
when you think you've got a sussed out, she changes the rules.
Exactly. People were saying it was going to be cold last year, and it never was. So I'm going to pass it back to Michael if he's ready.
Yep, I'm all ready.
Let me just go to there. There we go. Stop sharing.
And I've gone straight into the facts charts.
Wow.
As quick as that.
That's skill, that is.
Anyway, well, this is the latest facts charts from the good old Met Office from 6 p.m. tonight. We've got high pressure dominating much of Eastern Europe. On the eastern flank of that, we've got cold Arctic air move pushing down, which we have seen on the snow cover, where a lot of snow has actually fallen in that area. We've got weather fronts to our west, and we're currently in this southerly airflow, which is originating more towards the Canary Islands, to be honest.
Yeah.
Hence why it's been so mild recently, with record minimum temperatures been broken across, I think Wales and Scotland, especially.
Actually, Michael, I do apologise. Yes, 19 degrees, I think it was, or something like that. But yes, as it shows there on the facts chart, then, like Michael said, they're coming up from the Canary Islands, but the wind's very slack towards the east. So east of the Pennines, the Wash, East Anglia, and the southeast, probably been under fog all day. More towards the Midlands and the west, as Michael said at the beginning.
Right, so it's all going to change. We've got 2 hours of low pressure sitting out to our west. We've got this one to our southwest, and this one more heading towards Iceland. If we move this forward 24 hours, we've got a weather front slowly making inroads into the western areas, which will then, during the day, will move eastwards, giving us a spell of rain.
Mm-hmm.
We've got low pressure waiting out in the wings here with more weather fronts, and winds will pick up probably on this. So any mist and fog will say ta-ta for now, as the winds will blow any of that mist and fog away. And we've just got plenty of weather fronts around the UK as we're heading into Tuesday with another system.
Before you move on to the next chart, Michael, I actually have news just in from Toro, actually. Today, 21.2 in Porthmadog is a temperature for the day. It's been broken. It's been smashed, actually, from 19.7.
That's for the day temperature.
That's the day temperature, yeah. And the other one you was on about, which was on Friday, on Friday, was in Myerscough in Lancashire. And it was 19.5 provisionally. Hasn't been verified just yet. But Porthmadog today, 21.2 degrees Celsius, which is 70.2 in old money.
Is that a November record? Don't think it is it?
It's not enough. I'll have a look for that, actually, while you're doing the next chart.
Yep. So here we are on Tuesday lunchtime from the Met Office over low pressure out into the Atlantic. We're bringing more weather fronts through, which will bring a spell of rain or showers. Winds will be quite gusty, but we're feeling lots cooler than it has been recently, as our winds will switch more towards a westerly. We've got these troughs moving in through overnight into Wednesday. Again, that'll bring a spell of rain or showers. Wednesday itself, we're in quite a strong southwesterly airflow with another area of low pressure moving up from the southwest. That is still not showing coming through because it's the same chart. That
It wasn't.
UK expects across the UK on Thursday with showers behind with some really gusty winds. These are still subject to change, so some of these could be stronger, which we'll have a look at the GFS charts in around about 5 seconds.
While you're doing that, Michael, it isn't a record. There's actually the record is 22.4 degrees, which is in 2015.
Okay, so
I'll show them at the end.
Not too far off.
Not too far.
Yeah, not too far off.
So yeah, we're in a bit of a cold here at the moment. I believe
Yeah,
between low and high pressures.
Do I look at 850? Let's have a look at the surface pressure before we have a look at the air mass above.
Yeah.
So we'll have a quick flick through this as time's getting on a bit. Okay, this the area of higher pressure towards Eastern Europe. We've got this low pressure out into the far east of Europe, bringing down this cold Arctic air, which is, as I mentioned earlier on, bringing out snow into that area. We're underneath this slack southerly airflow, which we end up losing within the next 24 hours as our winds will flick towards the southwest. The areas of low pressure moving in, giving a spell of rain. This current chart shows I have low pressure sitting towards our northwest of the UK. Which one's I seems to develop another layer of low pressure on its southern flank. Again, risk of gales coming through the UK. Something we need to keep an eye on later in the week. Still have a lot of uncertainty as we're heading during the week. We've got more of a westerly flow, which obviously will bring the temperatures down compared to what we've been used to recently. We've seen temperatures back down to more normal. Yeah, so we've got another area of low pressure winding up from the west. Risk of gales into next weekend. And that just seems to hang around with looks like another little feature traveling along the south coast there. I've got a nice little deep area of low pressure try move in there in about 10 days' time. That's again we need to keep an eye on. I'll bring gale force winds, maybe severe gales during Tuesday and Wednesday, the 22nd and 23rd. And that sticks around for quite a few days, so we're under quite a bit of a stormy spell there, maybe. A bit windy. And also, we're trying to have high pressure moving up from the south yet again. Also, try and attempt to get the winds in from the south. We'll have a look at the air mass in just a second. That'll block off some of the weather fronts. So it's like an east-west split for a time before low pressure moves in, especially a deep one there, going into Western Europe, to the west of the UK. So looking at that, it's like it's not showing any cold weather at all. It's remaining quite mild. Let's have a look at the air mass. Obviously, on these charts, blues is your cold air, oranges and yellows is your mild or your fairly warm air. As mentioned, we're underneath this warm sector here. And we should start seeing the greens start crossing the UK in the next 24 hours as we've got that weather front moving through. And we're keeping the greens for the next few days at least. More air tries to move from the south, but quickly tends to cool again as our winds switch to the west. We've got cold air in the mid-Atlantic, this 5-degree isotherm here. We've got that cold plunge coming into Eastern Europe there, but that looks like it's not set to hit us at all as the
Mm,
Westerlies will take control.
like a pincer movement, isn't it?
Yeah, it's the cold air is there, but it's just staying away from really
Yeah.
Western Europe, much of Western Europe, really. Western
Mm,
Central Europe remain more autumnal, strong winds at times. Again, when the area of low pressure tries to move in, it does move in, but not bringing any cold air down. That does
yeah.
show a bit of colder air moving in, but probably quite mixed. But that cold air soon disappears again. So it's teasing, the cold air is teasing to our west, but doesn't get quite to us.
Mm,
There we go again, the southerly airflow, temperatures on the rise again.
possibly next hurricane there.
I think more of a mid latitude storm looking at that one.
Could be. Did have a warm core to it, but no, it didn't. It had a cold one, sorry.
That's right. My
Oh,
guess it would be
yeah.
across the jet stream.
Actually, yeah, it does have a bit of a warm core to it. As it comes out of, yeah, yeah, it crosses over, doesn't it?
That area
Mm,
of low crosses the. So I've got our friend the jet stream actually, see what that's up to. So obviously we're on the warm side of the jet. So it's currently quite strong to our west and into across Scandi as well, where we've got this area of high pressure blocking it, blocking its usual track really. But the jet stream is firing up racing across the Atlantic, dipping slightly to our west again.
mhm,
Then we're temporarily going to the cooler side of the jet. We've got a strong jet stream coming blasting across the Atlantic towards the end of the week. So we need to keep an eye on that if
mhm.
any systems cross it. Another arm of the jet stream fires across. The jet stream's getting quite really picking up now, isn't it?
It is.
It seems like we've got like a double jet stream now, really, which we had earlier in the
Mm,
season.
yeah, a bit of a bifurcation. Well, it splits in two.
So we need to keep an eye on that. And this is where I think area low pressure starts to get formed. So obviously there's a
Yeah.
really strong part of the jet stream coming out of Canada there. Then the low pressure develops in. We can see it moving onto the north side of the jet there.
Yeah.
So definitely something to keep an eye on. Could be heading towards a bit of turbulent weather, but a
Mhm.
lot can change between now and then. Um, I think we'll have a look at the temperatures, and I think unless there's anything else you want to look at, then we'll probably call it a night.
No, I'm okay. Sorry, you're now unprofessional in me.
I think he was tired. So yes, temperatures will be still around about the mid-teens tomorrow, but we've got that weather front coming in from the west, which will start bringing the temperatures down more or less to average.
Hmm.
And through Tuesday, we're back into well, we should be for this time of year, really 10s and 11s, not 18, 19, and 20s. They're still like well, you probably see a start of October, never mind middle of November.
Yeah.
Now, we're still not looking at a frost at all. Still looking at 10s, 11s for Wednesday as well. No sign of any frost.
Yeah.
So again,
I
temperatures
think
still.
your stick's pretty average.
And yeah, say again about 9s, 10s, 11s for Friday at the stage. Maybe risk of frost in some sheltered parts of northern England and Scotland
Hmm.
before milder air seems to move in for the weekend. I'm quickly blasting through this. Temperature's looking just average, really.
Yeah, it looks to be dropping a little bit.
Just
Well,
seeing that
next
actually.
week.
Bit of colder air, so it's probably moving in through into about 10 days time. Sorry, 8 days time, but
Yeah.
we'll see what happens with that. That was probably that bit of colder air coming in just temporarily. I think then it recovers back to where we are.
It stays about 7 or 8.
Actually, yeah.
Point.
Which is
So,
a nice difference compared to what it's like now because it's been so warm.
yeah, the sun will be lengthening in how, in how long it stays up. Soon it'll be like up at 8:30 and down by 3:30.
Yeah. We get, because then, was it 2 weeks' time? It'll be like when we had Storm Arwen, where we had cold air pushed down from the north when Arwen went down the North Sea. So
Yeah.
remember that because we had snow, and that's the only time we had snow all season last year.
Excuse me. We had a little bit towards January. That was it.
The only snow we had here was, God, was that actually ironically the night that switched on the Christmas lights here last year, which was the last Sunday of November. And we
Oh,
didn't see snow at all, really, throughout the whole season. We might have had a bit of few sleety bits, but nothing.
nothing that sticks. So, yeah. I'll let you wrap up then, Michael.
What, Christmas presents?
Don't. You're busy enough in Leeds today. The zombies were out. So yeah, I'll let you wrap up. I'm too tired. Sorry.
Yeah, I'm starting to feel tired now. We've been on for virtually about an hour now.
Yeah, it's going on for an hour.
So thank you for the like, Andy. Thank you for
Yep.
that. And we'll see you Thursday, either 8 or 8:15, there or thereabouts.
Uh,
And
yeah,
that's me done for the night. I'll
and
probably
me. I'm there, thumbs up in everyone really lazily.
Okay, it's now good night from him.
The delirious one, and it's good night from him, the psychotic one.
No comment. Take care, buddy. Thanks for watching.
Take care, guys. Bye.
See you soon.